Today, we're going on a journey into one of the world's most incredible epics, the Ramayana. Now, this isn't just some ancient adventure story full of heroes and villains. No, this is a profound look at something called Dharma, that deep, complex idea of righteous duty and the absolutely impossible choices its hero, Prince Rama, has to make. So let's get into what made his story so legendary. The entire epic, really, it all hangs on this one central question. What is a hero's true duty? Is it your family? Is it a promise you made? Or is it your duty to the people you lead? This is the conflict that's going to shape every single decision Rama makes. All right, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off in the magnificent kingdom of Ayodhya. This is where we meet Prince Rama, who is basically the embodiment of virtue, the perfect son, and the rightful heir to the throne. You'd think his path is all laid out for him. But right as Rama is about to be crowned king, everything gets turned on its head. See, years ago, his father, King Dasaratha, granted 2 wishes to his wife, Kaikeyi. And now, in a brilliant moment of political maneuvering, she decides to cash them in. First, she demands that her own son, Bharatha, be crowned king. And second, Kaikeyi demands that Rama be banished to the forest for 14 long years. Just think about that. 14 years. This isn't just about giving up a crown. It's about sacrificing a massive part of his life, all to make sure his father's word, his promise, is honored. And this is where you really see Rama's unwavering commitment to Dharma. He accepts this devastating turn of events without a single word of protest. But here's the thing. He doesn't have to face it alone. His wife, Sita, and his brother, Lakshmana, show their incredible devotion by giving up their royal lives to join him in exile. And just like that, the 3 of them walk out of the palace and into the wilderness. So let's follow them into the forest. Their peaceful exile? Well, it's not going to stay peaceful for long. This is the moment the story shifts from a personal test of duty to this huge, cosmic battle between good and evil. Their new life is completely upended by a demoness named Surpanaka. She becomes totally captivated by Rama and tries to seduce him. When he and Lakshmana both reject her, things turn violent, and Lakshmana ends up wounding her. Humiliated and furious, Surpanaka flees, but her thirst for revenge is about to unleash absolute chaos. So Surpanaka runs back to her very powerful brother, Ravana, the 10-headed demon king who rules the island of Lanka. While she's telling him what happened, she also can't stop talking about Sita's incredible beauty. And that little detail plants a seed of obsession in Ravana's mind. He decides he must have Sita for himself. Now, Ravana is a master of deception. He's not all about brute force. He puts together this incredibly clever trap. Disguised as a wandering holy man, he shows up at their hut. He creates a distraction, a beautiful magical golden deer that lures Rama and Lakshmana deep into the woods. And with them gone, he grabs Sita and carries her off to his fortress kingdom of Lanka. As you can imagine, Rama and Lakshmana are completely heartbroken. They begin this desperate search for Sita, and their journey is going to lead them to form an alliance with one of the most powerful and most beloved figures in this entire epic. Their search leads them to the Monkey Kingdom and its greatest warrior, Hanuman. Now, Hanuman is a being of immense power and, more importantly, unwavering devotion. He pledges himself and his entire army to Rama's cause. Their mission is now crystal clear: find Sita no matter where she is. And Hanuman is no ordinary ally. He's a divine being with some truly incredible powers. He can change his size whenever he wants, growing big enough to take one single gigantic leap across the entire ocean to get to Lanka. He finds Sita, proves who he is by showing her Rama's ring, and gives her hope. And even when he gets captured, he escapes by setting the city of Lanka ablaze with his own burning tail. What an exit. Okay, so with Sita's location confirmed, the stage is set for an epic war. Rama, Lakshmana, and the whole monkey army are now marching toward Lanka for the final showdown to rescue Sita and restore Dharma. The assault on Lanka is just this marvel of courage and engineering. The monkey army builds a massive stone bridge all the way across the ocean. Once they're across, they surround the city. The battle is long and bloody, full of magical weapons and heroic sacrifices. But it all comes down to a final duel, where Rama finally defeats the 10-headed Ravana and ends his reign of terror. So, the war is won. The hero is victorious. Everything should be perfect, right? Well, this is where the epic takes a really complex and, honestly, a very heart-wrenching turn. The end of the battle is not the end of the struggle, especially not for Sita. Their reunion is not the joyful moment you might expect. Rama, now thinking as a king, is worried about public opinion, about the rumors. He feels that to be a truly just ruler, his queen has to be seen by everyone as being completely beyond reproach. So he asks Sita to do the unthinkable, to prove her purity by undergoing an Agni Pariksha, a trial by fire. Heartbroken, but with unbelievable resolve, Sita walks into the blazing pyre to prove her honor. And then, the gods themselves step in. Agni, the god of fire, personally carries her out, completely unharmed, and declares her purity for the whole world to see. And for a moment, it really seems like their long ordeal is finally over. But a king's duty, at least as Rama sees it, is just relentless. Even after divine proof, the whispers among his people continue. Feeling like he has to choose between his personal happiness and his kingdom's stability, Rama makes the most heartbreaking choice of all. He secretly banishes the pregnant Sita to the forest. She finds refuge there, gives birth to their twin sons, Lava and Kusa, and raises them all alone. It's only years later that fate brings the boys before their father, the king, who finally learns who they are. And that brings us right back to our first question, doesn't it? The Ramayana is so much more than a story about gods and monsters. It's a deep and often painful look at Dharma. It forces us to ask some really tough questions. What is the true nature of duty? When does a noble sacrifice become a terrible injustice? And what is the real cost of being the perfect king, the perfect son, and the perfect hero?